Hey everyone, how's it going? Got a pretty good one for you today. Got a 21 Toyota 4Runner TRD Pro, and the customer complaint is my car will not unlock from the app. So app-based controlling is kind of common on some of our newer cars nowadays, and if you're not familiar with the system and how to tackle it, this can become a huge issue and something you may have to punt to the dealership. So with a little bit of understanding, um, you'll be able to take on some of these cars and with minimal tooling actually. So first of all, let's talk a little bit about some of these newer systems here. So with the app that's on your phone, the customer should be able to unlock and lock their vehicle as well as remote start it. And there's some other things that you can look at it too. So tire pressure, whether or not the doors are open or closed, a bunch of things like that. So yeah, with a lot of more connected cars nowadays, you're going to start to see a few more of these concerns. So let's take a look at what's going on here first. So I've done a little bit of homework, but I've kind of done all the footwork here so that we are actually able to kind of breeze through this a little bit. So what I got here is my phone hooked up, and I'll show you exactly what's going on. So I'm just going to open up the Toyota app and just kind of show you a little bit about what we can see on here. So we can see the vehicle, some of the controls here. But let's take a look at the status. You can see that one of the doors are open. You can see some of the tire pressures. So it says doors open, windows open. Those are normal right now. But as far as remote controls on this car that are available, you should be able to see that we can lock and unlock it and remote start it. So I'll actually show you what's going on with this car. So I'm going to close the door and show you what's going on here. So I'm going to hold that down. It's going to be sending off the signal to the car, or actually to the cloud, to the car. So I'll talk more about that process in a second. Just want to show you what's going on here. So what's going on is we sent a lock request to the car, and it actually failed. So basically that message said, could not connect to the car, contact your dealership. And that's about it. So we're gonna take a look at the car a little bit and pull some information from it and see what we got going on here. Actually, before I do that, let's talk about how the system actually works. So kind of what happens is, and kind of the theory behind it is, you send a remote command from your app, whether it be lock or unlock or remote start. That signal will actually go to what Toyota calls a call center. I think it's the cloud or whatever services containing this stuff. Then that gets sent to the DCM, which is I forgot what that stood for. But anyway, that receives signals via the call center, and from there it sends out that information, or that command is sent off to a main body ECU, which then, depending on if you're doing remote start or remote unlock, that will send it off to the main body ECU for remote unlock functions, and then from there it just unlocks all the doors. If it's a remote start and it's a smart key, which this one does have, then it will be sending it off to a certification ECU to verify that the key is actually paired to the car, or the phone is paired to the car and the key is paired to the car, and then it allows it to start. So let's take a look at this car. I've already pulled a health check on it. There's no codes in it stored, so we're gonna bypass that function of it. I did get some information about how the system actually works and some specific data list items to look at to help you diagnose an issue like this. So what we're going to do is we are in the main menu. I actually have my AutoFix D1 hooked up to this car. It's kind of like an Autel. In fact, it's exactly like an Autel. And we're actually going to go into control unit here, and we're going to jump into the telematics ECU, which is pretty much the DCM. So we'll jump in there, and we're going to look at specific data list items that refer to an issue like this. So I actually built a custom data list here to kind of trim it down a little bit. So what we're looking at is we're looking at specific data list items that refer to that actually help you narrow down if this car is actually connected. So for this remote function to work, it actually you need to have a subscription. and that needs to be enabled and all that. So this car already has a subscription purchased for it. It's enabled. So what we're seeing here is telematics activation status. That is active. Remote service function is enabled. Remote operation is enabled. Remote air conditioner by smart key, although that's not a function of, or a function that's available on this particular kind, that is enabled. But two dataless items that we're looking at here is remote engine starter registration status and remote door lock function. Those are both not registered. And that's kind of interesting because this car has actually been into a dealership before for a audio concern where they actually replaced the DCM at one point. My suspicion is they probably did not do some of the after repair procedures that are necessary after you replace one of these, a DCM, so that you can restore some of these functions. Unfortunately, I never caught it after that, after the DCM replacement, which actually didn't even fix the audio issue. Kind of blanking out here, but oh yeah, so they didn't, I don't think they, I never got a chance to test it because I never had a subscription to Remote Connect. So it's not until recently when I decided to subscribe to Remote Connect again that I found out that the remote functions did not work. So those are the two dataless items to look at right there. And what we're gonna do to correct that actually is we are going to go through some of the after repair procedures that are required when you do replace a DCM. So on this particular scan tool, you'll find those in their special functions. And we're actually going to do that within a couple different ECUs. So one special function, we're going to enable the door lock, remote door lock setting. So we'll hit that. And that's confirmed. And we're going to go through and select remote door lock available. So hit that, hit next. Bam, we've enabled it. All right, so we'll verify that in a second, but we need to go into another ECU, which is the smart key ECU. And we're actually going to register this thing under special functions. And we're going to do something called the ECU communication ID registration. So we'll hit that. So usually when you replace other ECUs, you have to do this. Basically, it's just a way to register or handshake between different ECUs to say, hey, we're part of the network now. We're part of the system. Talk to me. Let's have a conversation. So that's all good there. And I'm sniffling because it's kind of cold. So here we go. A couple options here. ID code box and steering lock and remote engine starter. So we're actually going to select both of those. Oops. Remote engine starter. All right. So we'll close that. So that should be performed. Actually, I'm going to run the other one real quick too. And there's no harm, no foul to running these. It's really just doing a handshake. If they're already communicating with each other, and they should be good. So touch smart key to smart button. Yeah, should be good. Cool. So we're good there. And now what we're going to do is we're actually going to go back to that data list that was in the telematics ECU and verify that those two specific items are now enabled. Cool. So now we're looking at remote engine starter registration status and remote door lock function. And we can see that those are both now registered. Nice. So I'm going to turn the car off. And we're going to test these functions. So got the app pulled up here. And we are going to click back real quick and try the door lock. So we'll hold that down. It's sending it to the cloud, to the DCM, to the main body, and bam, as you heard, lock's unlocked. So, and verified on the notification there. So now I'm going to try the remote start. And yes, I'm doing it in the garage, but as soon as I open the door, it should turn off. So we'll try that. Press and hold. And the survey says command failed. All right, so we still got a little bit more to do there, but we at least got the lock and unlock. So I'm gonna do a little bit more digging here and see what's going on with that, and I'll follow up in a second. All right, so we're back and we're just going to verify that the remote engine starter works again. Realized that there were some preconditions that enabled or didn't enable it to work, one of them being low battery voltage. This car's probably sitting at around 11.7 volts, so this battery probably needs to be replaced at some point, but we're just going to show that remote engine starter actually does work. So I'll hold it down, and the car is actually in there. See the lights flashing, it's communicating, and it started. Nice. So remote engine starter works now, and I'll actually be able to hold that down, turn it off, set the same command. Nice, there we go. So got the remote door locks and remote engine starter to work on this thing after finishing the after repair procedures for DCM replacement that someone did not do. So hope you guys learned something. If you have any questions, hit me up in the comment section and I'll do my best to answer them out. All right, thanks a lot, bye.